Hi, back again as promised with a little scarf pattern for our Chitosa here. I've actually done two designs because they are so quick. I thought it might be nice to show a couple of systems. As you know, the hat we've done previously, she now has the little cowl scarf, which is very simple. And also we've got a traditional nice long scarf, which I'll put on her now just to show you. This one's simple, it's just a button where we've made this, and you don't need to make buttonholes, where we've made the stitches makes a buttonhole itself. I'll show you that in a little while though. Now, if I'm going to be doing a long scarf on them, I like to fold it in half and I like to take it across and round. Her hair's going to get in the way a little bit, and then just loosen it off a little bit. I find that sits a little bit better with crochet because there is a front and a back, so it is nice to get it different ways. And we just added some very basic tassels on the end there. I think she looks quite smart in that. So again, Chitosa, we're going to say bye-bye to you. You can sit to one side while I carry on and show everybody how to do these very, very simple little scarves. So over you go, missus. And here we go with the scarves. As I mentioned, this is pretty long. Don't worry, you've not got to sit and watch me do a scarf to that length. This one is shorter, but it still takes a little bit of time for me to demonstrate to yourselves. So I'll do shorter versions of each one and just give you the stitch measurements. Now for this one, which we're going to start with first, I did 90 chain. You can do it longer, you can do it shorter. I only established the size by just wrapping it round Chitosa and deciding how I wanted a scarf to sit. You may just want to wrap the scarf singular, so it might be slightly shorter. So make your chain, wrap it round her neck and decide how long you want your particular scarf. So we're going to start with this one, so I'll put that one to one side. Leave that there. Again, I'm just going to use that 4mm hook. I've used the same yarn because I wanted it to match a hat, as you've seen. It is a double knit yarn. I'm going to show you how I do my knot now. I just wrap it round and pull it through. If you want to do it the way I've shown in the beginners, remember, over it goes, pick up that middle bit and pull it through. Okay, so I'll still go back to the way I do it because you'll change your own system anyway. On the hook we go. I'm just going to do 15. So we've got 1, 2, nice and loose, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14 and 15. We don't want this tight because when we go all the way around the scarf, we're going to be working back into this. If this is too tight, you're not going to get your stitches in there. Now, they are trebles, as you can probably see. So they're nice and simple. So to do a treble, we need to start with 3 chain. That counts as our first stitch. So that means we count down 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, yarn round the hook, into the space, pull it through. We have 3 on, which we should have. We pull through 2, we pull through 2. Yarn round into the next chain, pull through 2, pull through 2. Again, if you're a little rusty on this or you haven't done it before, pop back to my trebles tutorial and it'll show you a nice, quick, easy way to do it. Trebles are great for speed, it's great for growth. Now, if I was doing a person's scarf, you could do it with this, but this length here, I would carry on building up that way. For this little scarf, we don't have to. It's unbelievably quick, there's absolutely nothing to it. Takes a little bit of time because if you've got 90 stitches on, you've got then 90 trebles to do. So that does take a little bit. That is why I've only done it with the 15, just to show you what we're going to do. I'm nearly there now. See, it curls a little bit, but that will settle. A couple more. Now I'm pretending this is a 90 chain long. So I'm going, oh look, I'm into my 90th chain now. And it's my last treble. Just tighten things up. So just imagine that goes on for another 90 stitches. Right, so what we need to do now, we need to go all the way around with a double crochet. Now the first one I'm going to do each corner, each end here, and each end at the other end will have one chain before you start doing anything. So one chain, and I'm going to go in this space here, and I'm going to go in, pull it through. We have 2 on the hooks, it's a double crochet, remember. I'm going to pull through. I'm going to do that 3 times because it is a treble, so I'm going over the equivalent to 3 stitches. Oh, look at me wrapping again. And there, so we get 3. I'm going to do another chain, helps me turn my work. Now what I want to do is get in the top of every single one of those, but this is a chain side now, so it's not so easy to see. This is why I said if you've done it too tight you were not going to be able to get in there. So if you just look where your stitch is, all the way up, it's got to be at the top. All the way up, it's got to be at the top. That's all you need to do. Again, double crochet, so the hook just goes in, there is no wrapping yarn, and we pull it through 2 stitches at the end. So it goes in, we have 2, pull it through the 2. Remembering, little twist does help get through your stitches. Little twist and pull through. Again, you will develop your own way of doing it. Let me just put that yarn on the wall. On the floor even. Right, so double crochet, all the way to the end. Now that means we've just double crocheted up only one side. Because see, we've got to the chainy bit now. So I still want to go in it, but there's not really anywhere to go, is there? So I'm just going to do 1 chain. That will help me turn. And then 3 double crochets into the space. Exactly the same as the other end. Makes a larger gap, but it also makes it neater. Now, again, I'm on a corner, 1 chain. This side's easier because you can see where all your stitches were because it's where you were before. So again, just a nice double crochet all the way along. Now this is incredibly quick, of course, because there's only 15 stitches. But if you were doing your 90, it would take you longer. But I think, to be honest, it would only take about half an hour for a scarf. I mean, you couldn't want much better than that. I mean, it's nice and quick, nice and easy. And I'm about to come to literally the last 2 stitches. Remember that one that was the chain? I'm going to go into that as well. And I'm going to do a slip knot. I'm always saying slip knot. A slip stitch join. So it just, I'll do it again actually. In, grab your yarn, just pull it through there. So I'm going to get my scissors. Got large scissors today because I cannot find my little ones anywhere. And I'm just going to fasten it off, pull through. We now want to obviously sew our ends in nice and neatly, but just for demonstration purposes I'll go on to the tassel. I'm sure most of you will know how to do a tassel. Can you see how it's curling because it's only small? But the quick and easy way of doing it is decide on a length. We're going to trim them. I like to leave mine a little bit extra long. Perhaps I am a bit wasteful. Oh, what do we reckon? About 6 inches? No, maybe a bit more. 8 inches, something like that. Doesn't really matter. So I want to cut just 3 to 4 for each side. Up to you. You can make them thicker, you can make them thinner. So I'm just going to do a few there. I think these that I did before should have been a little bit thicker. I had actually considered putting 2 colours in, then it would have matched the hat a little bit. So again, you can mix and match, decide how you want to actually make your tassels. You make them shorter, you make them really long, it doesn't matter. So basically, I'm going to fold my yarn in half. I'm going to pop it on my hook for a minute. So, in fact, I'll take it off. I'll put the hook in first. Up to you, either in here if it's easier, or if you really want to, you can pick up the stitches. Again, optional. I've picked up the stitches on this one, but it is an optional situation. So, just like you were doing a normal stitch. I'll get it the right way around. I'm going to get my yarn and I'm going to pull it through. Straighten it out a bit. So obviously we've got loop on one end, 2 spare bits on this end. I'm going to wrap the loop around the 2 spare bits and pull tight. Ta-da! There we've got. Something I didn't point out, which I'll do this time. I'm coming in from the back. That is the front of our scarf, that is the back. Trebles, it doesn't show greatly, but that is definitely front, that is definitely back. I'm going to go into that next stitch from the back. I'm going to hook my yarn through, I'm going to pull it through. So I have a loop and I have 2 loose bits. I'm going to pull it through. Yeah, that's a better sit, because you can see I've got my little knot that side. So in from the back, grab in half, pull it through. So we have loop, we have 2 loose strands. We put the 2 loose strands through the loop and pull it tight. Just do one more. Again, I think I should have done more on mine, so not, you know, you could double up these strands. In fact, the last one I've got 2 here. Let's see how it works. So I've got 2 here. I'm going to wrap it around my hook, a bit harder to pull through, and I'm pulling through 2. So we've got 2 there. I've actually got 4 there. So we do need to make sure those 2 loops are like this, and we need to get all 4, because we've doubled up, through. So that might just take a little bit more fiddling. Have I got them all? You never know. Yeah, I've got them all. Right, and then make sure we do it a bit slower, because you don't want one loop going tighter than the other, because it'll spoil it. There we go. So it's nice and tight. It will give you more tassel for your money, so to speak. Now, just flatten it out. Decide on the length. I'm going to go for about there, I think. I'll keep it short for this one. And basically, try and keep it nice and straight, which I'm not doing there. These scissors are a little blunt, so I really need to find my little ones. And there we are. We've got some tassels. They're not very neat tassels, because I've messed about. I've done single ones, I've done double ones, so they're all a little bit lopsided. When you do it, try and make it nice and neat, and just try and get in every single stitch along the bottom. You could do, like I said, do a different colour. In that last one, I could have done 1 pink and 1 green, just to give that pattern that matches the hats. So, couldn't be any simpler than that. 90 chain, 90 trebles, 1 DC in every single treble, all the way around the scarf. That's it. Essentially 3 rows. Well, if you count the chain, it's 3 rows. And then add in some little tassels if you want to. You don't have to put tassels in. So nice and simple, that one. Right, we'll put that to one side, and we'll look at this second one. Almost as simple. Well, it is as simple, just a couple of extra rows, but there's less length to it, because as you can see, that is the whole thing this time. I'm still only going to do 15, because otherwise you'll be sat here all day with me. Now, instead of the 90 chain we did last time, for the actual pattern that I've done here, I've done 40 chain. But for demonstration, back to where we were. In fact, I'll just do 10 this time. I don't think I need more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So we have 10 chain. Again, keep it nice and loose, because like the previous scarf, we're going to go all the way around with a double crochet. So that's the 10, but then I need 3 for my first treble. Down to 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4 will do. Wrap my yarn in the space, pull it through 2 and 2. Yarn round, in, pull through. We have 3 on the hook, 2 and 2. Now, in my treble tutorial, basically this is what this is going to look like, because we're going to do just 3 rows of trebles. So I'm not going to show you too much of this one. I'm just showing you roughly how we work it out. So you would just do your 3 rows of trebles. Now with any treble rows, before we go on to the next row, I prefer to do my 3 chain now. A lot of patterns will tell you to turn, then do your 3 chain. Personal preference. So I do 1, 2, 3, counts as our first treble. Turn my work, so you can see it's directly in line with the other treble. There it goes. Yarn around the hook, in, pull it through 2 and through 2. Nice and sweet and simple. You can actually see, if you look, you get a slight curve on here. That is just because this is the row that will have been our chain, so it's slightly looser. So I've counted that as the top, then it sits around her neck a little bit nicer. Depends on how loose your chain is, really. I do have a tendency to do a tight chain. Good sometimes, not so great others, so I do have to force myself to do a looser chain at times. So we're in a little bit quicker here for you. Remember that last one, because it just looks like well, it doesn't look like anything, does it? It is the 3 chains, so we do need to go into it. So 1, 2 and 3, then I'm going to turn my work, but you can do it the other way if you prefer. That does count as our first treble, that 3 chain. Now going on, I'm going nice and easy because the stitches are nice and loose, easy to go in a treble. It's such a nice stitch to do. Oh, says me as I go wrong. So this is all the width there is. There are just 3 rows of trebles on 40 chains. Couldn't be any easier. Remember your last one, top of your 3 chain, and through. Just very briefly remind you what you did with your other one. We're on a corner, so I'm going to do a chain first. Now one thing I'm going to do different here, on the other one, because I said that was a treble, I did 3 stitches. I do find when you've got layers of trebles, that can make it a little bit loose. So I'm actually done the 1 chain, and I'm only going to do 2 trebles into that space. Jump to the next space, I'm only going to do 2 trebles, listen to me, 2 double crochets. Right, into the next one, 2 double crochets. Corner, 1 chain. Top of that first treble, and round. Now again, with the previous one, this is the chain you're going into now, so it's not always as easy, especially if it's been really tight, than the other side. So just doubles, even though I just said trebles, they are doubles, definitely doubles. All the way along, we're at the end. I'm going to do a chain because I want my corner. And then we've got 1, 2, 3 spaces, only doing 2 in each. So that's 1, 2, the last one, just 3. It is a corner, 1 chain. Easier now because we're in the top of those original trebles. So remember, no wrapping with those double crochets. In we go. Oh, we're nearly there. I mean, this was only, what, 10 stitches I did 10 chain, didn't I, and 3 turn. So it was only 10, so of course it's going to take minutes. But, again, the scarf here should only take you about half an hour. So I'm just going to do a slip stitch into that very first stitch. That's why it's a bit tight, because it's the first one. If it goes through. Come on, there you go. And through. I'm just going to trim my yarn. Let my scissors work. And through it goes. Now you can see that's the same width as that, but clearly not the same length. So if you do your 40 chain, this is your 40 chain, and then we've just got 3 rows of trebles, and then 1 round of double crochets all the way round, remembering to do a chain here, a chain here, chain here, and chain here for the turns. And I've only done 2 double crochets into each space compared with the last one where I did 3. I just think it sits a little bit nicer. So then just stitched a button on, just use normal sewing cotton for this one. Chose a button that matches a hat, so just stitch it on nicely. And we don't need a buttonhole because these trebles give us enough of a space to just slide straight over the button without damaging it. And there you go, a nice, simple, basic little scarf. And here's our nice long scarf. So you've got a couple of options there. Takes a scrap of wool, takes you about maybe half an hour for each, and you can make it to either match a hat or just do it as a separate one for her to wear. Now I think that's it for today. We'll bring Tozy back on so she can say hello. There she goes. So there's your 2 options. Now again, as I've said before, any questions, just send me a message. I'll try and do my best to help out. Any queries, any suggestions, please like, subscribe and share. That would be great. And if you would like to follow me, you may have seen my little Octopudding here. Let's bring him in. In fact, Tozy can hold him. This is my Octopudding name. This is my business name. So you can follow me on other systems as well. I do have my Facebook, I do have my Instagram, and I do have my Twitter page. It's all there. I will bring it up Can you see it? I do know there are links as well. I don't want to blur you out. There's my very cute little Octopudding design done by a friend of ours. Thank you, Adele. He is rather gorgeous. He's a little crochet item I made, and then Adele was kind enough to make him into a little digital system as well. So I'm going to disappear for now. Hopefully back with you soon with some more Smartdoll ideas. Nice and quick basic techniques. So thank you and see you soon.